I want us to dig deeply in the law of distance. Before we can understand the second river, I want us to dig deeply in the law of distance. That can help us to understand the second river that the people of Israel have crossed. To understand the law of distance, you'll have first of all to understand when God created the earth and all the heavens and even the host of earth, putting everything in place. Genesis chapter 2, verse 1 until 3, you get what God said. He rested on the 7 days and he sanctified it and he made it holy. Now, the word sanctifying is the same word as separating it. And the holy is the same way. Sanctification and the holiness is the fact of putting something aside, putting something apart, separating it from. God separated himself from creatures, and he separated himself from his work. And he took away a day and he separated that day from the day that he was busy. All the days he was busy, he put a day far and he made it holy, which means you cannot touch it. It's pure. Don't dare to touch that day. Now we're talking about the day. But later on in the book of Hebrew, God said the people of Israel, as they were walking with him, they couldn't enter the rest of the Lord. Why they couldn't enter the rest of the Lord? In the New Testament, it's being explained. Now, the rest of the Lord is that peace inside of you, not just the peace, but the knowing of God of distance. They didn't enter that faith that makes them to keep God a distance. Now we're going to understand that. Moses comes, and when he comes in the desert, God makes that clear to him. When they were approaching the tabernacle, especially in the day of the fire at the mountain Sinai, God came to Moses and says, so that the event is so tremendous and powerful and full of fear and all these things, the Israeli people, they couldn't bear it. And he said, tell the people of Israel, it is a law, keep distance from me. Even an animal cannot come closer to that mountain. It should be stoned to death, even a human being. Well, it wasn't just the Mount Sinai. There was again another law that was given. Although the tabernacle was with them, although the ark was with them, but they had a law. And that law was that the people of Israel, no matter how many they were, they should keep distance from the tabernacle, keep distance from the ark. And that distance was described 2,000 cubits. In our days, we can, in approximative way, put it into 1.2 kilometers. That it was described that every time they should go, they should keep that distance from the ark. Now, when Joshua came in the book of Joshua chapter 3, verse 4 to 5, the law was also applied before they crossed the river. And that law said that you should keep that distance of 2,000 cubits from the ark. Now that gives us a great understanding. Why should we keep distance? Our God, the God of Sabbath, is the God of sanctification, is the God of holiness, is the God of distance. Even though he lives inside of us, but he wants you to distance a bit from him. Why? They shouldn't come, they should have that distance of 2,000 cubits. God was telling, you shouldn't come closer to the ark. Why? Because you should be confused with the way the ark is creating the way for you. You shouldn't go too far because you should be very confused again by not seeing the ark. What does it mean? You should not come closer to the point of touching the ark, and you shouldn't go far and very far to the point of losing the sight of the ark. You should keep a balanced distance. When you walk with God inside of your life, it's very important that you understand that although God lives inside of you, you should keep distance. And that distance will be a great blessing to you. I want you to follow the next message that is coming that can give you an understanding of what distance God is talking about. God is not your uncle, is not your grandfather, is not your business, is not your account that you can play around with it. You should keep a distance. If you want to see the way, if you want to live very well, and if you want to bring everything to the greatness of God, it is about the sovereignty of God.